Embarrassing.
It was just everything our org worked so hard against.
Yeah. And did you hear about that book? The book that he released that no one bought?
Are you talking about the one where that Fauci wrote that is getting taken down on Amazon right now?
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. So we're not political at all. This organization is very PC.
We're
right?
very PC.
We never offend anyone.
Never. We would never do that.
But let's kick off the festivities. I actually want to bring up Pastor Harley, who has been a great supporter of our organization for a long time now, and he's going to lead us in an invocation and prayer.
Oh. All right. Can everybody bow their heads for me? Father God, we just thank you for tonight. We thank you that you allowed us to come together and gather because there's power in the gathering. Lord Jesus, we thank you for your sacrifice on the cross, because without it, then we would have nothing. And so, Holy Spirit, we ask you to bless us tonight. Bless us and our families, our businesses, our organizations, because we want to stand up for the truth and we want to make an impact in our communities for you. And so we thank you, Father God, and we thank you in advance that we're going to have a great night. We're going to make great connections, and you're going to really bring prosperity to everything that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So I actually have these like great slides with a great picture of the pastor just now, but for some reason I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, okay. Let's got a picture of a flag. Does anyone have a flag? Is anyone wearing a flag shirt? Oh my goodness.
Wait, is that a first in our organization?
What's that?
No one's wearing it. Of
Oh,
course they do.
perfect.
There we go.
Look at that. Thank you so much. And I'm going to bring up my good friend, Deborah Pauly, who I just love so much. And you know, I just have to say, give her a round of applause. She just went through a rigorous program, and she's a JD now. How cool is that? And then she's taking the bar pretty soon, and she's going to be what, like a full-fledged Esquire? So we're super excited about that. So Deborah, it's all you.
Wait, Marcus, for those of us that don't know what JD stands for, can you elaborate?
Can she elaborate?
I'm not here to elaborate. I was not hired for that. I'm not getting paid enough for that. I'm charged by the hour. You know I'm just joking. Juris Doctor. And I'm very honored that I went to a great conservative Christian law school in Orange County. And I'm also very honored that Mark has asked me to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. I want you to take a moment before we do that to adjust our mindset, if you do not mind. The pledge is an oath. It is a sacred oath. And I think I go to a lot of political events, and I know that many of you do as well. And we just get up and just mindlessly say these things. But I want you to think about it today. Because if there was ever a time where we need to recommit to our allegiance to the United States of America and the republic for which it stands and the freedom that it stands for, it is now. We are in a lot of trouble, and you all know it. I'm no spring chicken. I've seen this country in trouble before, but not like it is right now. So will you please stand up and join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. If you were prior military, Congress authorizes you to render a proper hand salute. If not, everyone else put your hand over your heart and join me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thanks for that beautiful intro. And, Peter, is that loading up? Okay, let's go on. I do want to show off those cute little slides I did. I spent all day yesterday doing this.
You guys, let's all look at what Mark did.
Yeah, we cannot not have this, so thank you for plugging it in. Okay, all right. Thank you, our sponsors, and this is our mission, blah, blah, blah. Okay, some pictures, and then we're going to get over here. There's our picture of our beautiful Pastor Harley.
He is quite beautiful.
And picture of the beautiful Deborah Pauly. Get that. So thank you. And now I want to bring up, okay, I put this little brave elected official because, you know, one thing that we know about the Republican Party is there is so much infighting and ridiculousness, and, you know, I'm just like, if you know, like Ronald Reagan says, if you're 80% my friend, you're my friend. And I want to work with you, and we got so much to do in the community to wake people up to our values, to our, you know, our way of life, and that's what this evening's going to be. And Kevin Muldoon encompasses that, and you know, he has kindly joined us. It's his birthday today, so I don't want to do the cheesy sing happy birthday to him because I think that's really overdone. But I'm just happy he's here. So Kevin, you want to come up and say a few words? And we're just so happy to have you, and we love you so much.
Thanks, Mark. It's not that I want a free drink, but it was last week's, remember? You can still buy me a drink if you'd like to. It's great to be here. Thanks for everything.
Happy birthday, man! Happy birthday, dear Kevin!
So, want to thank you all for all what you did in defeating Prop 16. A little bit about that. It's so relevant today because of critical race theory, which we know is based on a lie. The 1619 Project is also a lie. My family's an old Pennsylvania family, and we fought in the Revolution. Many of my ancestors enlisted in the Revolution. And it was common on my father's side to give them the middle name Franklin, which is an ode to Benjamin Franklin, who was a visionary and realized that 1776 was just the beginning. They knew that slavery was wrong. They knew that racism was wrong. Many of them were Quakers or devoutly religious, some other sect. And they had a vision for America that was different than what they were able to do at that moment. And we've been enjoying the search for freedom and equality, and it's been expensive search. It cost us a war and numerous lives and a lot of sad stories, but we've progressed so far. And I think that they try to codify, legalizing racial discrimination. It's an abomination and it's wrong. And rather than lifting up our neighbors who might need help and being there for other communities, they're trying to hold other communities back and take away the American engine that makes this country so great. So this is a very big victory. I endorsed it early. I don't think my endorsement meant much, but it was great to be, to take some credit for this victory. And it's really important, especially now with our youth, that we can articulate why these victories are so important. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for this evening and celebration. Thank you for the victory you achieved. And of course, thanks for wishing me a birthday. It's been a good one.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being brave. I just want to highlight the word brave again, because I think the party likes to anoint their candidates sometimes without letting the people speak. And I think a lot of us in this room are of like minds, and I'm very happy to align with we the people. At the end of the day, we should be able, if we want to run for office and to get involved, we shouldn't have our own party attack us. Amen. So thank you so much for being brave and taking the daggers, Kevin. Okay. Speaking of, I just want to give this intro because I absolutely love Mayor Michael Vo, and we are in his city right now. And let me just tell you what this guy does. This guy stayed open during made sure to communicate with the businesses like this one we're in right now, Starfish Restaurant, and say, we are on the side of businesses, and even if the governor is trying to shut down our restaurants, we're going to make sure they stay open and stay alive and to support business. And Michael and Ted, who is also in the council, who we'll bring up right after Michael, were very important in making this happen. So Michael, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Mark. I didn't know you picked the nicest picture of me here.
It's a great picture. So handsome.
Well, first of all, on behalf of the city of Fountain Valley, I want to welcome each and every one of you to my neck. This is home to over 56,000 people. And when it was first elected to the city council, we have about 10% Asian American. Now the city has about 30% makeup of Asian American. one day before Christmas, we have an emergency city council meeting. Two of the council members want to shut down all the restaurants in Fountain Valley for completely closing them for dining and takeout. And they use the reason of the COVID-19 and pandemics. I have to hold an emergency meeting. Thanks to God, we have 3-2 vote to keep all the restaurants open and remaining open until this day. Thank you, Councilman Ted Bowie, for voting me with that. We are all adults here. When can the government have the power to tell the business to stay closed? If people want to eat and so scared of the COVID, they should cook their own meal at home. If people want to scare of COVID, when they come out and dine inside the restaurant, they buy food to go. Why we have to shut them down? These are the idea of limited government. And I'm so blessed that each of you are here so that we can carry that torch. Last week, we have an event in the city to appreciate, to honor all those that died for us during the Memorial Day weekend. Congresswoman Michelle Steele read me the 9 names that recently died during the 10,000 men deployment overseas. As those names was mentioned to me, tears came to my eyes because they are strangers and they are willing to die for us, for our freedom. I'm looking around the room tonight. Tears also come to my eyes because all of you are here because we cherish our freedom. Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. And he wouldn't have been able to do that without the help of another strong conservative vote on the council. So Ted Bowie, my good friend, who's been on a member of this org even before he became a councilman. So we're just so happy that we got him over the finish line, and he's voting right and doing so many great things for the city. Ted, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Mark. Well, first of all, once again, welcome to Fountain Valley. And for those who are coming far from here, out of state, once again, thank you. It means a lot for us for you to show up today at Mark's Ang's Gala. So thank you for those who are traveling from out of state. And I've heard that there's some of them here from out of state. Can I get a hands up in the air? How many people are from out of state?
Yeah, we got Josie, we got Denise.
Josie? Wow. Thank you so much. Especially on a Saturday, and rather than being over there and you come out to California, so thank you so much for that. What Michael has mentioned is not only does tears come to our eyes, but the tears are referring to, for those who are here, I'm assuming he's talking about tears of joy for those who are here. So thank you for that. But the event that happened in December not only was an emotional for everyone, we understand the concern for everyone's concerned about the COVID, but let's take a step backward. Who are they really affecting if should something happen? Their own family. And if it is a choice, my father's always said that, whatever you do, whether it's good or right, at the end of the day, those are the choices you have made, and you will have to take those responsibilities to the rest of your life. So who are they affect? Their own family, should something happen. So given that, so we are all responsible. And I think that rather than, like Michael said, like pushing the government on someone else to decide for us, they're the one who's going to be responsible, because they're going to look it over and say, hey, I didn't make the decision. If something happened, I'm responsible. And that's what it's all about, being responsible. And we go out, we do things, being responsible as an adult American. So I want to close in with that. Once again, thank you for being here on a Saturday at the event. That we much appreciate that everyone's showing up in our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Ted. And I just want to remind everyone that I went through the trouble to make the jungle juice back there, or maybe we should call it like a fancy cocktail. And I've had so much, and I can barely taste any of the rum in there. So feel free to have some, but I'm going to warn you, if you're driving, you know, you may want to go easy, but it's delicious. So I want you guys to go back there and try it. You see that fancy little thing that I think Wendy got for us way back. It's delicious. So I do want to bring up Lynette Choi. Lynette Choi has so kindly brought some certificates from the Congresswoman's office, Young Kim. So thank you for recognizing the work we're doing. And I know there's a lot of certificates, but I think I just want to call out the board to come up so you can see the people that's working. Can you hit the next slide kindly? Peter, thank you. So Joy and I are up here. We're on the board. Lani Indrawati, please come up, and Antao Chen, and Peter Ahmedson. You know, I know your son's not here, but you're in his place, so please accept it for him. And also Cheryl Franklin and Analia Anderson. I'd love to bring you guys up just to recognize that I don't do this alone. If I didn't have this great team that's out there and completely aligned as far as, this is the thing I say, because there's a lot of organizations out there, I think, that are, out there doing business, community and all of that. But what makes us special is we're all one team. And I just love these people so much. So come on up, and I guess we'll just do a little photo op with the certificates. And Lynette, I know you have so many, and I'm going to give it to the rest of them, but we can just all carry one certificate, and I'll make sure it gets distributed. So thank you. Appreciate this photo op. And I also want to give a big shout out to my tireless volunteers here with the Chinese American Volunteer Association. If it wasn't for them, I want to be able to drink and have a good time. So thank you so much. Peter Cheng, wave your hand to everyone. This is a young rising leader. The maturity this kid has, young adult. This is a leader here for the future, strong conservative values, and just out there doing great things. So thank you, Peter. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Peter, come join us for the picture if you can, okay? Peter has a certificate as well coming his way. So, okay. Thank you so much. Oh, okay, you pulled most of it. Okay, so, and Lynette's gonna give us, and Lynette will say a few quick words after too. And Lynette, I want you in the picture, because let me just say this to you about Lynette. Lynette has been such a tireless worker for so many years as well, and she's an unsung hero, so we really just love and appreciate her. And Denise Soto, please come up too. Sorry, Denise, keep forgetting our community leads. How dare I? Shame on me. Denise. There you are. That's Denise in the end. Perfect. I think that's good. And then Peter's. Yeah, Peter's on the very bottom, so. All right. Okay. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right. So yeah, it takes a village. So we really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Analia and Cheryl, by the way, are handling the raffle. I told them I don't even want anything to do with it, because I got way too many logistics to deal with. So thank you guys. It's a beautiful raffle. Cheryl, you're amazing. We love you. Okay, I want to give a quick recap, and I don't want to take too long because we're kind of behind on the schedule. But let's check this out. So since COVID hit, it was kind of crazy because we're super active. Then suddenly it's like, they pulled the plug out of us, right? Joy, what was that? March 17th?
Yeah.
Like
So it was March
my St.
17th.
Patrick's Day parties were all canceled.
Yeah. And then for
Terrible.
like 4 weeks, we just thought we were all going to die.
Yeah.
So we shut everything down.
Yeah, we had a human trafficking a movie presentation. Hi, everybody. Great to see you. Yeah, and we had so many events that just got canceled, and they pulled the plug, and it was terrible. But you know, here's a little recap of what we were able to do, even despite the closures. So, shout out to Words of Comfort, Hope, and Promise, our good friend Cynthia Martinez. You can see some of the photos we did. We're going down to Camp Pendleton and helping out the Marines there, and you know, it's a tradition for us because Joy and I have been going for what, years? And
Like 3 or 4 years now.
yeah, and they do this watermelon thing that's really messy, but you know, it's fun, and we were still able to do that. And were we COVID compliant completely?
No.
Okay.
We don't know what that meant because every week it would change.
Yes, because Fauci says 1 week masks, then no masks, then back to masks.
I don't know. I don't even know where we're at now.
Yeah, so just so you know, on June 15th, especially for you guys, they were supposed to lift the mask ban, but we were going to do a bonfire in Huntington Beach, and we're going to burn all the masks. And we're still going to do that, so it doesn't matter what the governor does. We're going to be, you know, Sonia, I hope you're there. We're going to burn those masks. And now it's June 15th, the day that they were supposed to lift the ban, and then now it's not going to be lifted. So, yes, I'll see you there, Lamb. Yeah, so recap of our last events, and if you could go to the next slide, please. Yeah, and you know, we were able to do a lot of giveaways to medical supplies, to hospitals and those first responders that needed their PPE. So we're able to do that. We still did some of our mentoring for our kids with Hope Through Housing Foundation, which is one of our current members. And also a bunch of stuff with our education fairs. So Denise Soto and myself worked together on some education fairs right before COVID hit. So that was a great one up in Verdugo Hills Hospital in Glendale. So lots of stuff going, and you can see Lonnie over there with some masks on the top right. So we gave those out to a lot of individuals in need. So thank you so much. Next slide, please. And so I wanted to do a quick recap before we get to our businesses. Okay, we got so much news coverage, I don't even know where to start. Every single one of these logos covered us at 1 or 2 points in the last year. So we're talking about the Washington Post, the LA Times, the New York Times, ABC.
You guys know that Mark was quote of the day for the New York Times? They actually stopped him with like a camera around Newport to get photos of you.
It was hilarious because my friend Julie right there was like, you know, she's a writer, and she was like, you know, hey, I worked all my life for this, to get a quotation of the day, and then I just kind of fell into it. So, you know, thank you, New York Times, for finding at least one of my words that fart out of my mouth to be somewhat quotable. So that was pretty cool.
They found the biggest troll in Orange County.
Yeah, and they didn't know they were getting trolled. They're like, oh, we're covering a conservative? They didn't even know that, so, you know. But, no, I appreciate it because I think a lot of conservatives go wrong and say, we don't want to engage the liberal media. I will engage them. They can twist my words, but I believe that enough people understand context to know what's going on and can read between the lines.
At least the people in this room.
Yeah, at least the people in this room, but that's enough. You know, I don't really care to be liked by everyone, so. But let me also give a shout out to ethnic media, okay? I know we have Tae Kim here, who's we're going to award in a little bit, but people like him from Korean media, from Chinese media like World Journal, which was very good at covering our Prop 16 thing. So while we don't like a lot of their CCP leanings, you know, we get our message out. We don't care if you're going to amplify us, we're going to get our message out. So Joy was covered by them as well, right? And we're just happy that we were able to make that impact. Philippine media, thank you to my Pinoy kababayan who covered us from Philippine Star to CNN in the Philippines, asked me what I thought of Biden's you know, becoming president, and I had a very frowny face, and they still covered it. I said, okay, you know, sure, you can get my opinion. I think he's illegitimate, but okay, sure. So thank you, and thank you NBC even for covering you know, a lot of our stuff as well. So if you could move on to the next slide. So I want to highlight some of those high points which they found media worthy. So first of all was Proposition 16, which I found was a great way to engage a lot of our population here. So I'm going to give it to Joy, because Joy, you were kind of the primary working on that, and I just kind of did some of the media stuff.
Oh no, Mark did a lot. Yeah, Proposition 16 I think really fell on our laps, and it was one of those things where, and it was interesting coming from right before the Stop Asian Hate movement, where like Proposition 16, racially discriminatory laws that our California legislature was trying to push through. So it was actually thanks to a lot of people in this room that really helped us with this, from Councilman Eric Ching to Mei Mei Huff to definitely Ted and Michael here in Fountain Valley. And I see a lot of other names and a lot of other people in this room that really contributed to that success. We ended up beating it with double digits.
57-43.
Yep.
Yeah, in the bluest of states. So I really want to, and I want to say something to this because hey, Peter, can you check the sound? Sorry, I turned it up to get Joy louder, but I think it's feedbacking right now. But I wanted to say this that's very important, and one of the things that I'm most proud of in the campaign is I engaged my own media contacts for getting Prop 16 covered. And one of them was two of them actually were half black and half Asian women. So Yumi Wilson from Washington Post and Corinne Winter from KTLA 5 were people that came to me and said, hey Mark, we want your opinion on Prop 16. Hello? Yeah, check. Okay, so, and you know, I was able to have some transformative conversations with them where they initially were, you know, on the fence about this. And then in the end, they came our way. And when they covered the story, so both in the Washington Post, you see this article that says, why is a pro-diversity ballot failing in America's most diverse state? They actually were able to quote me and, you know, and understand my perspective, and they became very sympathetic to it and became more balanced in their coverage versus being completely slanted. And then with this special here in the top left, Prop 16, they did a TV special on KTLA 5, and that ran several times during the election cycle. And we ended up getting lots of eyeballs on that, where I talked about, you know, exactly why, as a minority, why it's bad. And I think a lot of people thought affirmative action, oh, that's easy. We want to level outcomes. But in the end, you got to level opportunities, right? And that is what KTLA, both of them were Blasian, and it was very interesting because I said, what does that do to you, Corinne? What does that do to you, Yumi? As a mixed race person, you actually are even more shafted in the process. So I thought that you know, was really a win for us. Can we move on to the next slide? Okay, okay, I got a lot of heat for this, but I supported President Trump last year. Shocker! We threw some pretty impactful rallies. Our Redondo Beach rally drew 3,000 cars. And we got this huge parking lot for the convention center that was all filled. And it was crazy. So that got covered by the news. I actually ended up making Fox News national because a clip by CBS got escalated and syndicated, and Martha McCollum's The Story ended up covering us, which was really cool. And a bunch of us also in this room, Lonnie, myself, and a few others, we went to DC and saw President Trump's first speech since he got getting out of COVID. So that was really cool. But I'll tell you, my proudest moment was getting a liberal to cover my rally. And he went to a Filipinos for Trump rally, and he actually wrote a very nice piece about unity and saying, I still don't agree with this, but we can still be friends. And that is very, very important, because I think all of us need to understand that we cannot tell someone what to believe, but let's work together and let's not compromise our own views, and we can still be friends in strength, you know, and say we don't need to agree on anything, but because we agree to disagree, it's all good. So that was a really great outcome, and probably my most proudest moment And obviously after the election, they wanted to see my tears for, Trump not winning. So CNN Philippines and a bunch of other outlets covered me, and I was never going to back down from my support for that great president that served us for 4 years. And we are continuing that movement. And we are so excited because we're the only Asian organization that has the balls to actually stand up for our values. So thank you everyone for supporting us so we can continue our work and really wake people up that Asian values are conservative values.
And thank you to the haters.
Thank you, haters. They fuel me. I love it. Okay, next slide. Okay, what was really cool, Joy, you were there. I'm gonna shut up for a little bit and maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Walnut Family Fair, which we decided to throw despite LA County Health Department trying to shut us down.
Well, we love the city of Walnut. We love Eric Ching. Say hi to Eric, everybody. City councilman, running for Congress now. We're very excited to support you for that. And we love the churches of Walnut. We love the churches who will stand up despite a lot of these draconian laws that were being passed down last year. All the different rules and all the threats that everybody was given. And we really had a lot of fun at this event because we were just planning it. Oh, it's outdoors. You can wear masks. We'll have sanitizers. It'll be fun. Nobody's gone out for a while. The kids are going nuts. So we threw this at Pastor Carlos's church. And then we start getting nasty grams from the LA Health Department. First of all, I thought it was a troll at the beginning. I thought they were just being facetious because I was like, really? That's what you're concerned about? Not the tents that are building up on Santa Monica Boulevard? Okay, that's cool. So yeah, they have time. I guess they have the resources. They just don't want to do anything about things that actually matter.
So let me tell you, Joy, they actually targeted churches for a good 3 months. So we were one of the last ones to throw an event, but other churches that had their in-house services were targeted and fined. So if you look at LA County's citation list, it was basically all churches until suddenly December 21st or something, when the Supreme Court decision came down that you're not allowed to target churches, suddenly it became restaurants. So it was like church for like months, and then
go after the restaurant.
Go after the restaurant. And that's when December hit, and that's when this city, thanks to Michael Vo and Ted Bowie and Patrick Harper, right, and so, the good people in the council, decided to keep this open and as defiance, and I'm so proud of them. But the Walnut Family Fair was crazy. We were able to, we had a standoff, basically, where the health department was like right there trying to be let in. And I said, this is private property. You are not allowed to come in.
We were like, what are you going to do? Call the cops? The cops have a booth.
They even brought their mascot, Officer McGruff. So we actually, you cannot defy Officer McGruff, I'm sorry. So, in the end, they gave us a $2,000 citation, but the publicity we got out of it was just absolutely incredible. Breitbart on a national level covered us. So I was really happy to see, our story get out there, and San Gabriel Valley Tribune, NBC4, they all covered us, and pretty stoked about it. May actually sent me the front page of San Gabriel Valley Tribune. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I am a law offender now, and it's public.
Now it's public?
Now it's public, yeah. The others were sealed, okay? All my previous shenanigans, I went through a lot of trouble to seal it. So don't blow up my spot. Okay, next. Stop Asian hate. Oh my God. Okay, what was really cool about this is it really started with a partnership with our good friend Ying Ma. Ying is not here today. She was going to be one of our guests, but she is a published author and very well known on Fox and lots of different outlets now.
Communications director for the Ben Carson campaign.
Yes. Great candidate, right? I think Joy was supporting Ben.
I supported Ben.
Yeah, we all love Ben. We think he would have been better than many of the rest. But Ying and I worked on a national campaign to get groups as far-reaching as Virginia, as Washington State, not Washington, D.C., and Texas, and all parts of the country to sign on in a coalition to pressure Biden to act on these hate crimes, which ended up resulting in a very meatless but symbolic bill that was just passed and he signed a few weeks ago. So Fox News covered us as the organization that was instrumental in getting this to happen. So that was really good. And Red State covered one of my articles. So now I'm using this as a platform to wake up on law and order. And we threw a rally on that. So Joy, want to tell us a little bit about that rally that some of our friends like Tony Moon were part of?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Again, we were shut down for a while, so it was fun getting out there, seeing friends, but changing the narrative. It's all about changing the rhetoric, changing the narrative. They used, I think, very falsely used the shooting in Georgia to blame it on white supremacy, and we're like, well, we can read statistics, so we know that's not it. And we know that it really, you can only, complain about things for so long before you need a solution. So we focused on what should the solution be. The solution should be law and order. It should be engaging law enforcement on a national level, making sure that victims are getting justice, making sure that district attorneys are actually convicting criminals,
right,
not letting criminals out of prisons early, things like that, to make sure that our elderly are safe.
Absolutely. And I really like my title. I spent a lot of time on it, when I wrote this op-ed. Double standards, right? So the Stop Asian Hate crowd on the left wants to say that, we have the moral high ground. We're so special and we care more than you. But in the end, their policies end up empowering criminals. So, I called that out, and, Red State was kind enough to publish, my op-ed on that. So thank you so much. And, you gotta love that Washington Post and some of these outlets decide to twist everything we did in our press conference, and they didn't cover anything on the law and order aspect. They wanted to tie it back to affirmative action because they felt that was a hot topic going on nationally at the time. So I have a real distrust of the media, but I still engage them because I really want our message to get heard no matter what. So hopefully you guys can do the same, my fellow fighters in this room. Next slide, please. And just critical race theory. Joy, can you explain to everyone what critical race theory is?
It's a lot of self-hate. It's a lot of self-hate, a lot of hypocrisy, I think, when interracial marriage, I think, in California and across the United States is so rampant. Why are we hating each other based on race? There's so many other things to hate each other for. But they want to institutionalize it. They want to teach our children that, we hate dad because he's white, but mom is okay because she's Asian.
That actually happened recently.
It happens all the time.
A first grader came home saying that same thing to his mom, who is white, and the dad was black, and said, "Mommy, you're bad. Daddy, you're good." That actually literally just happened.
So they're doing this instead of teaching our kids math and science. So we're continuing to fall behind. The priorities, I think, of these boards of education are completely off. And critical race theory is inherently racist. So I think it's a hot topic right now. I think a lot of people on the right are covering, which is great. But we need more support across the aisle as well. We can't continue to have, I think, the woke elites running this show.
Exactly. And what happened to us, Congressman and his chief of staff will have to split up here, my bad. But at least you're close to each other. So what we've been doing is actually on a local level in Los Alamitos with a critical race theory is we found out there's a school in Los Alamitos called Oak Middle School, and one of the 7th graders came back with an assignment called "Why Am I a Racist?" And it was an op-ed written by Huffington Post, of all outlets, being passed off as an assignment to the kids. And this kid came home crying, and I said, this makes me so sad. I want to do something about it. So what we did was we found out that the school district had not approved this, curriculum and had preeminently shoved it into their daily lessons. And what we did was we protested in front of the school board. I got about 150 people there that day, right before the board meeting, and they moved the board meeting to Zoom, citing COVID concerns. Go figure, right? So we ended up making that a news story that made it all the way to LA Times and national news, and we're pretty stoked that we made enough noise. And even though they voted to get 5-0 ethnic studies curriculum in. They ripped out 4 pages off the curriculum that was handed to them by groups like Tolerance.org and Learning for Justice, and they ripped those out, and at least it's a little watered down. So, impact. Thank you so much. Okay, moving on, next slide. And right now, the last thing that we kind of made some local news waves on is Recall Gascon Now. We have a DA in Los Angeles that is disregarding everything about, law and order and basically letting criminals out to the streets. I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Emma Rivas. Emma is not here with us today, but Emma is a mom of a murdered a son from gang violence. And actually what happened was she has 3 sons, and one of the sons jumped in front of a bullet and took, basically sacrificed his own life to protect his brother. And now what DA Gascon is doing is trying to get these criminals out early, which means that her son, which the gang killer was after, is now going to be out loose on the streets and will probably want to exact some revenge. So this is a very important story because she is my friend. I care about her, and that made me say, hey, let's do something about this. And so Karen Roseberry, you want to stand up and wave? A good friend Karen and I are basically have started a PAC and are working out in the community to make sure that we win this, because we have 580,000 signatures to collect in LA County. So that means us Orange County folk, there's some LA County people here as well, but Orange County folk cannot sign that. So that is about 1/3 of the signatures we needed for Newsom, Recall Newsom statewide. So that's a lot of work. So we are dedicated to fighting this, and thank you to Fox 11. What I love was Fox 11 actually went out of their way because we picketed in front of Gascon's house in Long Beach, and I actually had some of the neighbors go, "How dare you do that?" And I said, "It's 3 o'clock. Get over it. We're going to be here for an hour. Let me exercise my First Amendment rights here. Calm your tits." And basically that story ended up getting, they went to Gascon and got a statement from him. And I love this statement right here. This recall, funded by a mega Trump donor, is a tool of right-wing conservatives seeking to stoke division in our community. First of all, I really want to know who this mega Trump donor is, because that would help our organization go a long way. Because I've been basically bootstrapping this for 5 years now, okay? I'm tired of being the biggest donor to this org, but thank you everyone here for all your contributions and donating to us. I really appreciate each and every one of you. This is what community looks like. Thank you so much. And it was peaceful, and what's this, Karen? One of our, the Long Beach police even drove by, and we managed to give him a petition. So we were in cooperation with the police, and everything was peaceful, and it worked out well. So thank you. So that's a recap of kind of where we've made some national news in the last 18 months. Moving on to the next slide. So I want to feature our businesses now. We got some really cool businesses, and remember, I believe that entrepreneurship and just being an innovator, which you'll see some of these next businesses are, is the lifeline of this country, and what sets us apart from other countries that have extreme poverty, human rights violations. I mean, we are so blessed to live in this country. And people forget that. They are constantly complaining about what we don't have. That is a very sad way to live. Gratitude is the heart of everything and for progress. So thank you for everyone being on the same page here today. Okay, let's move to the next slide. So I want to bring up my good friend Jericho Wang. Jericho Wang is just a really great guy. He actually has a partner with him that will explain what he's been doing with Dongchen Education. He also he's a serial entrepreneur, so he always has good stuff up his sleeve. But what he's been doing for quality education has really struck me to the core. He supported a lot of our education fairs over the years. Denise and I have worked closely with Jericho to get stuff done in the community to promote charter schools, private schools, homeschooling options, and things that actually, you can really tell a difference when someone is homeschooled or if they are from the public school indoctrination camps. So Jericho, thankfully, is out there doing some great work. So I think both of you should come up because Jericho, people need to see you. This guy is unsung hero. He also has a really cool business. I got too excited and I put that up. It's called Sangla, and Sangla does home heating products that are solar based, and it's really cool. So you might want to talk a little bit about that. But it's all you now.
Thank you so much, Mark. Good evening, everybody. Well, thank you for the inviting from the Mark tonight. And I must admit, I'm the second generation for my family, and my whole family is from China to all moving to here. Me with my younger brother and sister plus my mom back 2013, and myself is when I come to the U.S. is back to the high school, which means on the 9th grade. Everything I've been going through, I must admit is tough because I'm an Asian and I'm a Chinese student in here, and even though sometimes I don't want to admit it, but I can feel the heat from the community, or I can feel the heat from the school. But today is not what I want to share. I want to pass this to my partner, Yuxin, because I believe she is much better experience for me. First of all, she is former Boston College admission officer. Second of all, she has past 10 year experience for high school and college consultant. So please.
Thank you very much, Jericho.
So first of all, I want to speak for Jericho and the DC group, like our education consulting group, to say thank you for hosting such a great activity and having so much elites gathering around and speak our voice out loud. Well, first of all, I would like to share some funny story when like earlier before this evening, when I was on the trip to this restaurant with my husband, we were kind of going through the speech, or say the little statement I want to share with the public, and he was like, well, make sure you won't talk about Asian hate, go back to your country, blah blah, such kind of sensitive terms. I was like, why? Because he said, well, I think that will probably make a stir in the restaurant. But then I kind of like, well, we should admit that it's everywhere right now. And actually, I did some research online, and I surprisingly find that the cultural bias can be dated back probably to 18th century. But what I want to say here is, as a education group, or say as an expertise in our field, we don't want to narrow down such kind of case or say circumstance to one specific race. We want to tell or say educate our children, our next generation, that such kind of bias will be everywhere. The only thing is how we're gonna deal with it, and we have to face it. So yeah, I think that's probably the most important mission on our group. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate both of you, and I have a congressional certificate for you as well. I'll get to you. Thank you, Jericho. We appreciate you. Next business, can we click through? I want to bring up, Ultra Chem Labs. How cool. I think most of your tables you should have gotten a cool hand sanitizer. I see a few there. This hand sanitizer is really cool. It protects your hands for 24 hours from any dirt. And if you put it under a black light, you'll see that no dirt catches on. And John has a really cool story. He's a Burmese refugee, and he started this company, and him and his son Ben are here, and they'll tell you a little more about what they do. And I'm going to get your slideshow back.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thank you. I'm a chemist for Ultra Chem Labs, and I'm a toxicologist to start with. So what I do was to look at dead bodies and people are eating them. So that's
want the details.
Too late.
Yeah, so that's what I used to do, and something that hit me was a day when somebody brought me a specimen not gonna say much, but from a child that was intoxicated by cleaning products in the school. So a lot of times I would just say, okay, somebody died. But this one is a child. So from there on, I said, it's no use for me to be testing something that has already killed somebody. Why don't I go out there, get something going so that we change what people are doing as far as to clean their environment. Schools, hospitals. Right now, we have over 600 school districts in the DC area. But here in California, we have not been heard for some reason. And we told them that these products we cannot use. Some of the products that they're using are using styrene in there. So styrenes are cancer causing. So instead of, anybody heard of benzene? Yeah, benzenes we used to use that for cleaning our brakes. And you can't buy them anymore. It's because it's been banned. Because it not may cause cancer, but it will cause cancer. Styrene is just a sister product of benzene, which has a little methyl group in there. You know? So the chemist there tried to cover it up, kind of thing, and say, let's do styrene, let's get this for people. So where do we see styrene today? Polystyrene, those disposable, those disposable containers that you go to restaurants. Yeah, styrofoams. They do not break down. They have been for millions of years. You know, they don't break down, and anything that doesn't break down in your body would stay there, so your body would go and coat it with cells, and you get tumors from that. So we'll say, well, I don't smoke, I don't drink, you know, but I got cancer. Why? It's because things that we don't know is going to kill us. It's not what you know, it's what you don't know that's killing us. So as a toxicologist, and I went out there for the past 35 years, traveling as fast as I could. Finally, I ended up here in California, which I'm very, very happy to be here with everybody. So what we are doing right now is to go and present this environmentally safer products for our school system, because our children is our future. Yes, it's our future. And if we are making our children sick, ADD, different kinds, why? Because they are breathing in environmentally unsafe, volatile organic compound. They call it VOC. And when we go to talk to the school district, they said, they don't want to talk about that. They said, we just buy the product for years, that's it. We don't want to change. But I said, you sit in a big, huge office. You've never even gone to the schools. Do you know what the school smells like every day after the children are there? No, we don't care. No, we just buy the product for them and they use it. That's all. I thought, that's wrong. We gotta remove you guys. We gotta get people that understand the toxicity and talk to people like ourselves. We're not out there just to make money. Making money is not the main thing. The main thing is I have a mission statement, a mission to have a better life for children, and even in our homes. Right now we are slowly moving into our domestic products so that people can use products that are not environmentally against. It's, oh, I got eczema. Oh, I got I have an itch here all the time when I use something like that. I choke. I got asthma. You don't have to have that. It's all the products that you are using. Do you know how to read that? I asked them, I said, do you know how to read the MSDS sheets? They got material safety data sheets. He says, no. I said, of course not. Because material safety data sheets are made by chemists like us so that they don't understand. So we can sell more products to them. So I go out around and I teach. You train animals, you teach people, right?
Some.
Yeah, some. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. Anyway, so that's what we are doing right now as far as, and whatever you see on your desk, or on your table, a little hand sanitizer. Because remember a while ago, people were using hand sanitizer because they were using alcohol type, right? 70% alcohol. 70% alcohol. It's toxic. You know why? Because the alcohol that we drink are only what? 40%. They call it 40 proof. 40%. No. So, or 80 proof. They call it 80 proof. Okay? And it's 40%. But if it is 70%, it's almost double. It dries up your skin. You got eczemas on your skin and everything. It says, man, but I don't put it every day, but you are a nurse. You have to. You have no choice. If you're dealing with public, you have no choice. You have to put that. And if we are being supplied with this product, no alternative, then you suffer. You suffer the consequences of somebody that are not being taught. They have not learned that there is a other alternative. Anyway, so what my time is up, right? Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. I know he's so passionate about his product. But I do want to hear from Ben, because Ben, I've just used this product line already for a few months, and I've basically transitioned all my detergent needs over to Ultra Chem because I just love the product so much. But he can tell you a little bit more.
Yeah, so I may not be as charismatic as John there, but I'll do my best. But just to speak briefly, as a teenager growing up around the family business, and you may be doing it just for experience, but for myself, when I gained the vision and understood the vision of what my father was trying to do for all of these years, I was at a convalescent home. For those who know, it's a care home for the elderly. And many people spend thousands of dollars in order to care for their aging parents there. But what they started to find was a lot of these patients were gaining additional chronic health issues as they were staying there. And what we started to find is they were, again, like my father mentioned, were triggering asthma. They would gain new chronic health problems that would diminish their quality of life. And we started to find these very, very toxic and poisonous raw materials in the products that they were using, especially in the laundry. And they would be using tons and tons of laundry detergent that would be just causing havoc. And seeing that up front really instilled that vision of this company in my heart to move forward and continuing to bring health awareness to anyone that is willing to listen. So just a little bit about the laundry detergent. Won't get too much into the technology for now, but really the commercial side has a much higher environmental regulation. And when you try to release retail products, there's very little to none in terms of environmental regulation. So that's what we're trying to do, is bring the commercial side at the highest standard of environmental safety and consciousness to the homes of families in our community so that they can benefit from safe products that brings their health to the highest standard that we can help them bring to. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you might want to look at so you got the hand sanitizers, and there's a little trifold on each table. You can look at all the products. And I went to Lonnie's house and I cleaned her kitchen and her bathroom because I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. You gotta check this out. And my dogs, yes, Patty, I'm coming over, okay?
Mark
'Cause-
has volunteered to clean anybody's house.
Yeah, I'm a janitor now. I'm so passionate about it because these products are so cool. I had, I have 3 dogs, and they, one of them's 15, and Rin barfs all over the place. Sorry to talk about this while everyone's having dinner, but I can tell you, like, I got rid of all those stains thanks to your product. So now I have it's restored the carpet back to shiny and blue.
Plot twist, it wasn't red, it was Mark.
Yeah, it was my drunken nights. I'm sorry, but I blame it all on the dog.
So real quick, what's the hardest thing that you feel it is to get out of a carpet?
Wine.
Urine, wine. What about gum? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll leave it at that.
Awesome. So you gotta check it out, okay? I think on their website they got some videos on how removing gum, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got gum right here.
Yeah.
I'll
Can you remove it right now, or?
No, I'll pop it. It'll take about 5 minutes.
Oh, take about 5
Can you
minutes.
give me 5
and come
minutes?
back and show.
Yeah?
Okay. Awesome. Let's move on to the next slide. Thank you. Antao. Okay, Antao has been my brother since the beginning of this organization. We started about 5 years ago, and he was there with me when I said most of these chambers of commerce are so damn liberal. And there was one we were involved with, and it was a moment like Trump won, and I was like, that's kind of cool. They were like, why aren't you outraged? I'm like, no, it's kind of cool. And we found out, what I noticed with a lot of these organizations is they don't understand what it means to take a risk, to start a business, basically they want to eat the rich, and they don't understand that a lot of it is built from hard work. Well, Antao himself has started, he was one of the founders of H Saga International, which is now a company that has 150 something employees. It's based in Memphis. And they're providing so much value in the logistics, import, export, distribution, warehouse, all the supply chains basically. And he's been also such a great philanthropist to the community and helping build this organization to what it is today. So I want to bring up my brother and very good friend, Antao Chen.
It was my honor to be here tonight, and just want to re-emphasize what Mark just said. A few years ago, we went to one trade show, and we set out the booths, and then only 2 of us. We wait a couple hours, still 2 of us. So Mark said, that sucks, man. I'm gonna start my own. And he asked me, you gonna join? I'll be the first one. That's how we met Mark. I think everybody have their story with Mark. Let's start from Mark. Regarding what Saga do is not very important right now, because we are here to meet good friends, the good people in this good restaurant, and enjoy the good food. So thank you. Enjoy.
A little bit about what you do. Antao, before okay, I have it on the website, and we just so appreciate all the work he does. So he's out there. The company has so many great services, and I've seen him help a lot of companies. That especially with PO financing. That's one of the things that Antao does with his company. Is a lot of certain people here that are independent business owners may not get paid right away. Let's say if you have a government account, sometimes it takes 90 days to get paid, and sometimes that causes cash flow issues. Antao can help you with that because they do, as long as you have a purchase order, you can use that to get some financing right away and keep that cash flow healthy in your company. So he's very modest, but definitely reach out if you need some of those services. Let's move on to the next slide. Thank you. Okay, Eric, as you know, you've heard about him. I just love Eric so much. Eric is, he's wearing this cool shirt, Wanyu Foundation, which he started, and they've done so much now in terms of giving supplies to the community, especially during COVID, and with the PPE and all of the other needs in the community. So Eric is out there working very closely with our board member, Lonnie, who you'll hear from later. But Eric, come on up and introduce yourself. He's the mayor of Walnut, the incoming mayor of Walnut, a great Christian, a great supporter of our causes, and he's also running for Congress. So, hell yeah!
First of all, I can be here today because my Lord Jesus Christ. Earlier, who was saluting to our flag, right? So this is still one nation under God.
Amen.
The reason why, this is our team. Please stand up. My team, One Youth Foundation. Last year, a few of our good friends we got together because our government have failed us. Our streets are less safe. We have more people hungry. We have more people on drugs. And what they're doing? They release more criminals to our streets. So what we decide to do is we're going to make difference among ourselves. So last year, just last 3 months alone, we were able to feed over 2,000 people, just a few of us. We want to continue to do more because it doesn't matter what party you belong to. We still want a safe neighborhood, right? We want our kids to go to school, to be admitted without knowing their color of their skin, right? We want our resources to be distributed fairly. About 2 years ago, maybe over 2 years ago, there was a seminar. One of the biggest city attorney was teaching smaller cities how to fight with the Trump administration about sanctuary city issues. So I raised my hand. I was the first one. I said, hey, when you release all these criminals to our streets, number one, they're undocumented, right? So that means they cannot work. When they come back to our streets, more likely they're going to commit more crimes. What do you say about that? He mumbled, he couldn't answer. So when he swore in to his duty, he failed God, he failed people who elected him, he also failed himself, right? So that's why I decided to run for Congress. Enough is enough. Yeah. I'm going to be running in Congressional District 39. And I believe in Romans 13:1. A few weeks ago, when I first signed up with the Federal Election Commission, within half an hour I got a call. And that person is well known. He said, we're going to come and attack you. I said, when God called me to do this work, I'm not stopping. You can do what you want, but I'm not stopping until the job is done. So I'm going all the way. So thank you for listening. We're going to continue to do One Youth Foundation's work. We're going to do God's work. So if you want to contribute, you want to help us, we just want to go and feed people. Make sure they're getting out of drugs, alcohol addiction. Make sure they have food on their tables. Make sure we have a safe street. It's very simple. And we don't have that. We cannot trust the current government to give us that. So thank you. Thank you, Mark, for your work. So my team, One Youth Foundation. I want to thank Mark for his great work.
Oh my God, thank you. That is very, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you, Eric, for everything. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Eric's one of the best. He's been, we've been in a Pastor's Prayer Network for the last how many years, and Eric's a guy that shows up consistently. He's a strong Christian. He gets stuff done. Because I don't think a lot of people know, but he's had this, was involved with the invention of plasma TVs back in the day. I know it's like an obsolete technology now, but he's done a lot of great things that you can't even begin to start in this presentation today. So get to know him. He's around today, and I love that shirt. I want one. Okay, let's move on to the next slide.
So actually, I want to introduce this next person. All right. About a year ago, when everybody was getting COVID, I actually think my grandma got COVID sometime in January because she was super sick, and we've never seen her that sick, and she couldn't sleep at night, and she was having a dry cough, and it sucked because I was staying in the room next to her, so I'd hear her cough all night, so I'm not sleeping either. And then I remembered Andy. So Andy has an amazing company where they produce Big Pharma's biggest nightmare, which is CBD products. So I gave my grandma some.
You gave her some pot.
That's what I told her. And she took it.
Did she share?
She passed it to the left. No, she slept so well, and she actually quickly got over being sick. And it was something that Tylenol, no other medicine was able to do because they weren't able to isolate exactly what was going on. But it was thanks to Andy's product. So I want to introduce Andy to everybody and his company as well, Nirvana.
And can I just say while he comes up, Andy gave us the privilege of some of our AIB members to check out his 25 acres in San Jacinto right when the plants were in full bloom. So Raziel, Mike, and myself traveled out to San Jacinto and we had the best day of our lives. So thank you, Andy.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, everybody. Yes, so I do have samples, and then I'll kind of explain it. But we cannot make any medical claims, so I'll reference, what the government published. My company is a biotech company. We focus on product that delivers results to help people. So in the samples that I have prepared in the bags, the first product I wanted to share with you is a chlorine dioxide tablet. So sanitation is actually really important. This is a tablet that you can add into 1 liter of water, and it becomes a chlorine dioxide disinfectant. So during the COVID pandemic, a lot of our customers could not get a hold of cleaning supplies. And then we came up with a chlorine dioxide that's easy to ship, easy to carry. You can take it on the plane, you can travel with it because you're not taking any water. By the time that you land, just add into a liter of water, and then it's good for 7 days to sanitize. So everybody has, one of these in the bag. And then the other product is actually, I'll share my story with you. This is our Hemp Soft Gel. So I began my journey back in 2017 when my mother-in-law was diagnosed with Parkinson. So I studied and researched and identified that cannabinoids, which the US government has a patent called neuroprotectant, is a solution that could potentially temporarily relieve the dyskinesia. So I spent time talking to UC Irvine, which did a study on neurodegenerative diseases. They were running some studies. I get to meet the people who were supplying the plants and then the ingredients, and they started to identify what I can help my mother-in-law with. So that journey began in 2017, and along the way in 2018, the Farm Bill has passed. We were able to improve the US government patent called the neuroprotectant patent and really create a product that actually works for immediate normalization. Now, when I say immediate normalization, it's our body has an endocannabinoid system. We need to produce endocannabinoids to keep our 11 major organs running functional as normal. The phytocannabinoids that's found in hemp or cannabis are very similar to our endocannabinoids. And what it does, when you're hungry, when you eat food, you're no longer hungry. So when your body needs endocannabinoids to balance 11 organs, major organ systems functionality, if you do not produce it, you will get sick. You will have some problems. But as soon as you introduce cannabinoids into your system, your body immediately normalizes to do the function they have. So the soft gels that we have, there are 10 soft gels in here. When you don't feel normal, meaning you have a headache, you cannot sleep because you use too much cell phones, with the blue light stopping the secretion of your melatonin, this will immediately normalize your melatonin secretion, so you can actually sleep. And a lot of patients or customers that we talk to are females with epidural damages. Most women with 2 kids, most women with 2 kids, a lot of times they don't sleep, but they struggle with epidural damages because when you're injecting something in your spine that's super cold, there are nerve damage they'll realize after they pass 35. So this product also helps a lot of the women and a lot of cell phone users. Oh gosh. Yes. So you guys have it. If you have a headache, if you're drinking too much of the rum juice, this also helps bind the alcohol on the GABA receptor, so your brain wakes up. You can actually feel that you're awake from alcohol. However, your liver is still intoxicated with alcohol. So I do not recommend take this and drink 10 times more, which is really bad for you. But any issues that you may have, headache, my mom has osteoarthritis, and This actually helps her. She has it for 16 years and it improved. You should feel normalization within 30 minutes. So if there's a migraine headache, if there's a back pain, shoulder pain, hand shake, dyskinesia, within 30 minutes, you're actually going to see everything come back to normal.
And just
And then this is what my company does, and this is the only ingestible product. The other products that we make are hand creams, topicals. So a lot of times women put on a lot of toxin on their body, which change the cellular functions of what your skin does. So you might have abnormal skin symptoms, which a lot of these cannabinoids plus essential oil and herbal remedies can help you normalize different skin disorders. So you have flyers in there. There's a product that you guys can try, and all Mark's member will get it off 50% off if you guys wanted to buy the products.
And just to clarify, there's no actual like THC, right? It is just CBD.
So ours is not CBD, ours is hemp. So we have everything that everybody don't have. That's why it works, including a little bit of THC, but under the legal limits. So the reason
so you're
why
not getting high.
You will not get highs. But let me explain why THC is really important, and this is one passion that I'm helping elders with aging. There's irregular protein plaque that could build up that could cause figure eight tango for you to lose memories. THC has been proven to remove that through government studies. It is important to microdose so you can remember where you put your keys. Close the door, close the fire, and that's what I have done for my parents and my grandparents and all my friends, relatives who are showing early signs of dementia, and that's really important. Philia pili is really important to me. It is not a drug. In my opinion, don't abuse it. Microdosing, meaning 1 to 2 milligrams per day, not to get stoned, like all these other people are doing. So there are a group of guys who are really trying to help the world through medical form of applications, and we're one of them that is trying to change the world with cannabinoid, allow people to understand that there are properties and applications you can develop to help people. We have helped quite a few cancer patients. We cannot guarantee we can cure their cancer, but we can help them sleep pain-free and then be able to eat and then enjoy life. We had a brain tumor patient a year and a half ago. She was declared 2 weeks left by City of Hope. We were able to let her and her family travel for over a year and a half before she passed away. And that's a lot of times that's what people want, to see their family member just to have a better quality of life. So thank you for the opportunity. Give the product a try, and hopefully I can help some of your family members. Oh, before that, let me just add one more thing. The studies the U.S. government has calling this neuroprotectant is because it binds to your ACE2 receptor, the same receptor that the COVID binds on. When your receptor is full with cannabinoids, the COVID virus cannot bind on. And now we're also running studies on post-COVID neurological malfunctions, and you need a little bit of THC to normalize that. Anybody who lost their sense of taste and smell, that could be immediately normalized back, either from post-COVID recovery or from vaccine side effects. About 4 of these soft gels will do the trick. So if you know somebody who lost taste and smell through the COVID vaccine, give some products to them and let them try. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy. So my understanding is I don't need to have pot brownies anymore. I can just have these gels, and it's amazing. Okay.
Recreational products.
Oh my goodness, this is life-changing here. I'm just gonna pop those gels all day long now. Thank you, Andy. And don't forget, we're gonna get a bunch of samples. So on your way out, where there's some gift bags, and basically, Elvira, don't get greedy there. Okay, you're already gonna get a bag with that. Okay. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna snatch that away from you. Okay. Don't be greedy. All right, next slide. Shame on you, Elvira. Okay, want to bring up my good friend Peter Ahmedson, Minuteman Transport. Peter has been such a supporter and great friend of this organization for so many years, since the inception. And he just came to me and said, Mark, I just love what you're doing. What can I do to support you? And how can I help? That is what a big heart this man has. And Over the years, I've gotten to know his great business. They do refrigerated logistics, and I'm sure you've seen their great trucks driving all around Southern California, and with a very noticeable and bright logo there, as you can see, with that's very patriotic. So Peter's blocking his own logo there, so just kidding, it's all good. But Peter, tell us a little bit about what you guys do, and we just want to engage the community and let them know, what Minuteman's about.
Thank you, Mark. I sat in the back table back there, and Gay said Anton had the best speech because he was the shortest one. So I'm going to try to be as good as Anton was. But Minuteman Transport, what we say is we feed the families of the Pacific Southwest. Refrigerated transport, and we're not just a trucking company, we feed the families. Through the whole COVID thing, we've been essential. We've been working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, helping feed the families. I really appreciate my staff as they've got COVID and off and on. Everyone came together, and so I really appreciate what my staff does. But 2 weeks ago, I was in Dallas at a leaders conference, and they go, "Oh, you're still in California." And I go, yes, I'm still here, because unlike Vegas, what happens in California goes east. So we have to stay here and fight the good fight. And that's why I appreciate what Mark does. He's fighting the good fight. He's always, I don't know how he finds the energy. Well, but anyway, appreciate everything we do. My son, Pete, who's normally here, he's working with me, and so third generation, but we're feeding the families of Pacific Southwest, but Mark has helped saving the families. So thank you, Mark. Appreciate everything you do.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. We love you, Peter. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I want to give a shout out before bringing up the next speaker, Jack. Cassio Shin has been a longtime member, and he's a United States Marine veteran. So thank you for your service, Cassio. We so appreciate you, and you've been such a loyal conservative and friend of the org for so many years. And he introduced me the other night to this great man. He's like, Mark, you gotta come down to Pasadena. I said, wait, I'm already speaking in Pasadena that night to a Patriots group. I could swing over, but I'm gonna be late. And thankfully I got to catch this man, Jack Wang, who he was the owner of the restaurant right on Colorado Boulevard called Stapa. And I said, this place is badass. It's got he gave me the whole tour of it, and I was just so impressed. And then I learned it was not his only restaurant. He's got 3 restaurants on Colorado. So we're honored to bring on a restaurateur, and he told me a story. And when he told me his story, I said, you got to share it with our audience tonight. So Jack, come on up and share that story.
Thank you, Mark. Where'd you find that nice picture? Oh, Google. We just recently met, and I'm very honored to be invited here. So, a restaurateur, I saw your tagline as reaching community through food. I guess in a way, as a Chinese born in Taiwan and came to the States 50 years ago, I do have an Italian restaurant called Chorizo, and a Spanish restaurant called Barcelona, and a Mexican restaurant called Estapa. And people, sometimes when people met me, say, you must have a Chinese restaurant. Sorry. Not really. And my daughter, she knows everything about pasta and tapas and carnitas. Unless I take her to, and Panda, I don't really consider that Chinese in any case. But, so I guess I do bridge a crossover. And one of the reasons I wanted to do a different, non-traditional Chinese restaurant is, I guess I went to Chem years ago. And it's not your best Chinese, trust me. Terrible. And it's created by non-Chinese. So I said, well, why can't I do Italian? And quite a few people are questioning me about that. You're Chinese, why are you doing Italian? I said, well, number one, we invented pasta. Number two, it's a much better margin business. Chinese food, as I tell people, if you order a shrimp chow mein in a Chinese restaurant, it's going to be around $8.99-ish. Okay, you'll get a big plate, you get lots of shrimp. Now, when you go to an Italian restaurant, you get a scampi ingredient scampi. It's about $20. You get less pasta and less shrimp. So, my background used to be engineering. So, very good in math, like your typical Chinese kid. This is much better margin. So, I'm doing this.